Hello everybody, my name is Spoons Rattling. I am currently drowning, and welcome to this video where I'm making some custom units so that the legions in 40k can have a bit of flavor. Obviously this is just for fun. You would never try and use these in a serious setting, but if you're with your friends, why not try them out? I used a website to make these, that's very handy. And let's get into it. So a quick explanation is I just wanted to give units to the ones that don't have them. So Wordbearers, Alpha Legion, Night Lords, and Iron Warriors are getting some units, but the ones that have their own codex and the Black Legion and Emperor's Children, who already have unique units, aren't getting any. So this is just for the ones that have no unique options right now. Let's get into it, starting in alphabetical order with my favorite Legion, the Alpha Legion. And I thought it was only right to go with the Headhunter kill team. I could have gone for Lernaean Terminators, but I figured that these guys are a bit more fitting of the generally accepted image of the Alpha Legion. So they have a pretty standard elite Space Marine line with 3 wounds, toughness 4, and a 3+ save. They cost 125 points for 5. They have Scout 6 inches, Infiltrator, and Stealth. They have 2 abilities. One is Venom Spheres, which is when you use a grenade stratagem. Instead of a 4+, it goes off on a 2+, only if you target infantry. As well, if they use the precision from their unique weapons, they get anti-character 3+ for that attack. And their unique weapon is the Bane Strike Combi Bolter, which has devastating wounds, rapid fire 1, and precision. It has a 24-inch range, 2 attacks normally, hits on 3s, it's strength 5, AP 2, and damage 1. And they're also equipped with power daggers, which are pretty standard Chaos Space Marine melee weapons. Now, if you're wondering why the Bane Strike Combi Bolter has such a sort of souped-up profile, it's because Bane Strike rounds were made specifically to pierce Space Marine armor, and were developed first by the Alpha Legion and used by them in the Black Legion during the Horus Heresy as anti-Space Marine rounds. So I figured it would make sense to make it a profile that would be very good at killing standard Space Marines. And since they're, trained assassins, precision to snipe out characters. Next, we have the Iron Warriors, who get, of course, their Tyrant Siege Terminators, who have a pretty standard Terminator stat line. They do get Feel No Pain 5+, just to represent how tough and sturdy they are. They cost 230 points for 5, and then 460 for 10, obviously. They get either a combi weapon or combi bolter, depending on their choice, and everyone, of course, gets the Cyclone Missile Launcher. It's the same as the Loyalist one. 2 attacks, strength 9, AP 2, damage D6 on crack, and then strength 4, AP 0, D6 shots on frag. Then they can all take Power Fists, or they can swap them out for Chain Fists. Their special ability is the Masters of Siege, to represent how veteran they are. They get to reroll hits and wound rolls of 1 innately, and if they're targeting a vehicle or fortification, they get to reroll all hits and wounds. This makes them extremely effective vehicle hunters, but that's why I made them so much more expensive than regular Terminators. For the Night Lords, you may be wondering why I didn't go for something with a jump pack, and that's because their unique jump pack unit was the Raptors, but every Chaos Legion uses them now, so I decided to go for something a little more unique in the Contakar Terminators, which are their sort of most elite units that they fielded. Everyone is equipped with a Volkite Cavator or Heavy Flamer, depending on your choice. The Volkite Cavator is pretty standard Volkite weapon, 2 shots, strength 5, AP 0, damage 2 with dev wounds, and the Heavy Flamer is a Heavy Flamer. In terms of melee weapons, they'll get Nostroman Chain Blades, and the champion can take an Eschaton Power Claw, which if you don't know is somewhere between a Thunder Claw and a Power Fist, so I gave it sort of middling strength, high AP, and damage 2, but also 1 less attack than the Chain Blades. And to represent Night Lords being spooky, I decided to give them something that would make Battle Shock actually scary. So at the start of each phase, every enemy within 6 inches must take a Battle Shock test, subtracting 1 from the result. If this unit has destroyed any units this game, subtract an additional 1 for every enemy unit destroyed. So say they destroy a few squads, they destroy 2 squads, they'd take a Battle Shock test at -3. And to represent the fact that these guys, even against their allies, if they see any sense of weakness, they will immediately try and kill them to take their place. So if they are fighting someone in melee, they get +1 to hit and +1 to wound. And they cost 185 points. I made them a little cheaper than normal Terminators, just because they don't really have the numbers to take down big things, but they're quite good at killing all stripes of infantry, really. And finally, we have the Wordbearers. You might be confused why I didn't go for something demon-possessed. That's because I realized that their demon-possessed dreadnoughts are sort of just replaced by Hellbrutes, and Galvorback just became possessed. So I decided to go for one of their more interesting units, the Ashen Circle, which was an extremely elite formation of Wordbearers, used specifically to destroy places of worship, libraries, basically destroy any notion of whatever profits the people they landed on would have. And they're equipped with axe rakes, which are special chain weapons, and I gave them devastating wounds just to help them stand out a bit, as well as hand flamers, which are your standard hand flamers, though they do look very cool being underslung. And I decided to give them a very interesting sort of objective-based thing, where if at the end of any turn this model controls an objective in the enemy's deployment zone, it remains under your control even if no models are in range of it, and your opponent cannot take control of it back until this unit either leaves the field or is destroyed. So if you use something to return them to reserves, then this ability does nothing, or if they get destroyed, they can take it. But so long as these guys are still alive, they cannot reclaim that objective. And just to sort of hint at their other, to cut down false prophets, I gave them the ability that if they destroy the enemy warlord on a 3+, the enemy loses a command point. I figured this is a little different from the other ones. I didn't want all of them to just be like Terminators, but slightly different, so I decided to give these guys, obviously, some more unique abilities. And I gave them a 5+ invulnerable save, just to represent their sort of runic arcane armor. They're the most elite Wordbearers out there, so I figured it would fit to have them have some enhanced durability. That wraps up this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any other sort of homebrew stuff you'd like me to see or you'd like me to work on, leave it down in the comments. And of course, as always, make sure to like and subscribe. And I'll see you all next time.